Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao. Today's video brings you a beautiful pair of MTO shoes from legendary shoemaker Antonio Meccariello. For those of you who have followed my channel, you'll recognize that Antonio is one of my favorite shoemakers in the world. I've been fortunate to get a number of his shoes on the used market, as well as a number of newer shoes from either his website or, in one case, through his MTO program. This is actually a unique pair in that it was likely manufactured via the MTO program from Antonio, but represents a makeup that he has available through his ready-to-wear program, but with some embellishments. And so I figured I would show you this makeup. This, my friends, is the Principes 2. I hope that's how you pronounce it, but it's the Principes 2. You can see this is a Adelaide, meaning that it's an Oxford that has this distinct pattern across the top here, where the facing and the lacing system is separated via this, what some people describe as a U-throat pattern with broguing. What makes the Principes 2 particularly stand out is this very unique leather, which is a vintage Peabody Kudu leather. So Kudu leather is typically an antelope hide that has been tanned and has characteristics of its life, meaning that it has some scars and unique patterns, and that is part of the aesthetic of what makes Kudu. Kudu is it has a natural grain and some natural finishing. Not exactly sure how this particular vintage Peabody Kudu was made, but it has a very distinct grain pattern, which I'm bringing to bear here. You can see a very rugged, robust, macroscopic grain that I believe is natural, but I can't say for certain. And then a box calf, which is actually a really, I think a vintage box calf, because this has a thicker, almost more like cordovan vibe to it. That adorns the back heel, which has this unique uplifted pattern right through here. You can see the back side of the heel with a block heel here, and the heel counter right here with no split seam. Speaking again to the quality of craftsmanship that Antonio and his team are able to do. You can see this beautiful broguing that adorns the edges of the intersections between the box calf and the Kudu. Very, very clean stitch work done, and a characteristic broguing pattern that then outlines some of these details, which I'm showing you right here. There's also broguing along the collar of the shoe, as well as what's called gimping, this sharp serrated pattern that you can see that adorns the edge of the leathers. It's another element that speaks to the quality and craftsmanship of the pattern as it is currently executed here. Turning it on its sole, you see this studded Vibram sole. I prefer this particular sole to the comparable Dainite sole, which comes from the UK. It has a better grip and traction. This sole makes this makeup a little bit more casual, because most of the Principes 2 models are adorned with a leather sole. Similarly, if you look at the edge of the shoe here, you can see the heel block is more of a block heel. Unlike many of other makeups from Antonio, there's no step off between the heel block and the waist, but this is a square waist without much character to the waist there. And you can see that despite that, there's beautiful fudge work done along the edges of the shoe and a relatively high stitch density to fasten the upper to the outsole. See how nice that work is on the fudging. So, Kudu model. The other obvious interesting characteristic of this shoe is its color. This is Antonio's emerald green color. Seems to be applied by hand on top of a brownish light or mid-brown base, which you can start to see peeking out here and here with wear. The other things that I like about this particular makeup is that this Peabody Kudu hides any creasing that forms, and because of the nature of this particular leather, it doesn't really crease much at all. There's maybe a little you can see across the top of the vamp right here. But this shoe really does hold its quality shape and overall aesthetic quite well. A natural veg tan lining here on the inset. Now, I would normally not have a shoe like this if I had a smaller collection, because obviously it's a pretty aggressive style. The Kudu grain gives it a more casual flair, and it makes it look a little bit more wild for an Oxford, to be honest with you. The green color is one that's maybe a little harder to match, particularly the emerald green. It is one that you should be mindful of in building your collection, whether it's going to be a regular use shoe. Now, maybe you just love green shoes. I have essentially one pair of green shoes, and it's this one. I really like it, but I'd struggle to have multiple pairs of green shoes. I think browns are where it's at. I have a few black shoes, which I think are a nice complement to the black for more formal occasions. And then a few oddball colors, such as this emerald green. This is built off of a round last, more bulbous, almost American style last. I usually think of Antonio as having more sleek lasts, but this is a round, non-chiseled last, and still suits this makeup incredibly well because it's a little bit more casual. It's definitely one that you can dress up or dress down should you wish, and ultimately it's one that you can wear in a wide range of circumstances as a result. I find it to be a nice counterpoint to my brown shoe collection when I want something a little different. And so this is Antonio Meccariello's Principes 2, the vintage Peabody Kudu leather box calf with a emerald green patina, variation on the Adelaide Oxford, done in a very unique makeup for your perusal. I hope you're all doing well. You guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you at the next video.